Hello guys, what's going on? Captain Nick 88 here, and a lot of you know there's compositions are pretty much like groups in Panzoid. You can layer different compositions, and there can be pre-compositions in compositions. So it's basically like a bunch of groups. Usually would take that position, right? You could click V, or you could go up here and click that. And then what you could do is select the object, shapes from text, like that. And basically, what this is this is gonna be your white text, or the text that you're gonna see in the middle. All right, so this could be you could also gradient that as well to a different color, and I'll show you guys how to do that in a minute. So once you have your outlines, okay. Okay, you can open it up like this, and in contents you're going to see all of the letters. So you're going to see your text just like that. Alright, and the first thing you want to do is click on contents, and you want to click add, and you want to click group empty, and you're and basically what this is this is going to be your white text, or the text that you're going to see in the middle. All right, so this could be you could also gradient that as well to a different color, and I'll show you guys how to do that in a minute. So once you have your outlines, okay, you can open it up like this, and in contents you're going to see all of the text. So what we're gonna do, click out of it. This way you're not selected into it, right? And then you could click V, or you could go up here and click that. And then what you could do is select the object down here in the bottom left. Hold Control and double click this button. What that'll do is it'll center your text. It'll center the anchor point in the middle of your text. And then you could go here to align it like that. And that's pretty much going to be your basic for the text. Now you can select your font and do whatever that, but we're going to leave it as American Captain. So the next step would be to select it, right click it, and click Create Shapes from Text like that. And in contents, you're going to see group empty, and you're just going to click and select all of these like that, and you're just going to drag them into group 1. Alright, so now they're all in group 1, and then what you want to do is you want to click it again, and then you want to click group 1, and then you want to click add, and then you want to click stroke. Alright, and when you click stroke, you could set this to whatever color you want. And we can go with like a darker color as well. And if you go over here to your preview tab, right here is a toggle transparency grid. And you want to click group empty. And you're just going to click and select all of these like that, and you're just going to drag them into group 1. Alright, so now they're all in group 1, and then what you want to do is you want to click it again, and then you want to click group 1, and then you want to click add, and then you want to click stroke. Alright, and when you click stroke, you could set this to whatever color you want, and we can go with like a darker color as well. And if you go over here to your preview tab, right here is a toggle transparency grid, and with that, if you would like, if your text has a white border, then you might want to just stay on this one, but if it has a black border, it might be a little bit easier to visualize on this. So we're gonna make this like a darker gray, and we're gonna set this to about 15. Alright, now you want to make sure that this is going to be the same as your it's going to be the same what is it called, stroke width as the 3D text as well. So you want to make sure that whatever stroke is here, you like it. Alright, because it'll be a little bit harder to change at the end. So you're just going to find one that you like, and I guess this will do right here, 25. Okay, you're going to go to line cap and line join, and you're going to set both of these to round. Alright, so you got round cap and round join. It just makes the text look a little bit nicer, and once you add the 3D to it. So you can close group 1, and you're just going to duplicate it. So you're going to click on group 1 and hold Control and click D, and that'll give you group group 2. I like to drag it underneath. Now from here, what you can do is you can go to the stroke, and you want to make it a little bit darker. Alright, and then we want to click on group 2, right? This way you add a repeater to group 2. If you just like have it selected to this, it'll add a repeater to the whole thing. So you want to make sure that you're selected on group 2, click add, and click repeater. Alright. And then from there, you just select how many copies you want. So we're gonna go like 20. Alright, well, so it doesn't really matter. So you're gonna go here down to transform repeater. This comes along with the repeater. Effect or position, right? And you want to set it to 99.6. Well, you can also set it to some other stuff as well, but it's just like, you know, 99 to do, right? So you, or you can make it go left and right. So what I like to do, okay, I get the center, whatever text is in the center, and I make it so that it appears that I'm looking directly on top of that shape. So theoretically, I really shouldn't see that much of 3D depth on that shape. Alright, so this looks pretty good. It looks very, very, the group may not look quite right. So if you are in that case, it looks absolutely fantastic. Like a gradient color. And then you're gonna find gradient ramp right here. Just drag that onto the first text that you created. All right. This is the one that doesn't have. Have the eye on it. Okay, and you want to enable that eye actually. So you want to click on that, and then you'll see the gradient 2 points, so that they're on the side. And you're gonna see end of ramp. You want to just lower these points so that they're on these like cubes. So there's like a bunch of cubes around this square in between those 2 points. You could also start picking a color. So if we choose like a yellow, which is a lot like we want it, well, it looks really nice. And you can go back, and that's actually pretty much the end of the tutorial of how to create the text. But you can also go back and you can alter the stroke colors. So let's say you want to make this white now, right? You want to make it white, and you want to make it let's see. You want to make this one just like a gray, right? Like that, right? Because you're like, okay, this might look better, and then you do that, and then you have a whiter, like a different version color, because your theme is orange. Drag it to the bottom, because remember it's layering, and you'll get something that looks like that. All right. So you can play around with how you're going to create the text and the different colors and different things that you want to apply to them. You can also do this, ready? So if you want to make it look even nicer, you could just highlight both of them. Okay, click right click on one of them and click pre-compose. And you could just call this text or something, whatever you guys like. Go to the effects tab and type warp. All right, and if you set the warp style to shell lower, all right, or you could also go shell higher or shell upper. It doesn't really matter, but I like shell lower, and then you can Hey guys, what is going on? Captain Nick 88 here, and by 9 aspect ratio, and then you have frame rate 60, and the duration I set that to 2 minutes, so that would be a 2 with 2 colons, and that goes to 2 minutes. That's just how I do it. And then you're gonna go here to desktop, and you're gonna select your song. So that's what we got. You're gonna this ends. The keyframes, select it and hit U on your keyboard. That's just click the slide and hold, make everything a little. So just kind of play it pad. You want to, but put a keyframe for every single beat. And then using J and K, you can actually click them to move to the next marker. So we're gonna with the song selected, you're gonna go through hitting K and the star symbol to add those markers to the song, and then we can delete that. So this is the last beat of the song, so I call this one ease just so I know, and that's basically gonna be the last beat, and then it's gonna have like a fade animation kind of thing after, and then I go to the beginning and then I add a marker there and I call that ease as well. That's where all my animation is going to start, and then it comes on this first beat. So now that we have that done, you can listen to it. And move on. Just hold Alt and then just click fill until it's crossed out. For stroke, just set it to white, I guess, and 80. The width is really, we're just drag, holding shift, because this will make it a perfect square. Just basically to holding shift, because this will make it a perfect square. Just basically drag holding shift, because this will make it that you can do it. But we're just going to holding shift, because this will make it a perfect square. Good. So now that we have that, we're gonna get straight into the actual animating. So click on this square. You can also click Q, and that will cycle through all of those as well. But we're gonna go with a square, and if this is on, let's say fill is on, just hold Alt and then just click fill until it's crossed out. For stroke, just because it's big, and so you hold Control and click this button up here. It's called Pan Behind, and then click and drag until you have something that looks like that. And then once you have that, with it still selected, hold Control and click this button up here. It's called Pan Behind, and that'll center the anchor point for you. Then you want to go to drag, click and drag until you have something that looks like that. And then once you have that, with it still selected, hold Control and click this button and drag, click and drag until you hold Control and click this button up here. It's called Pan Behind, and that'll center the anchor point for you. Then you want to go here to the Align tab, and then just basically align it like that. All right. So now select the shape layer and click R. That'll bring up the rotation properties. And set that to 45. All right, like that. And then hit S and bring up the scale properties. So we're gonna keyframe the scale, and the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna set the initial value to 0. And then we're gonna click this little, and this is at 0 seconds. It doesn't matter where the song is. Just follow these steps. So go to the beginning of the whole timeline, and then set the scale to 0. So keyframe that, and then go to anywhere you really want in the in the timeline. I guess 3 seconds. So I'm going to type 300. That'll go to 3 seconds here, and then basically just make it so that drag it so that it's right off the screen, so you can't see. See it anymore. So it looks like this. In the timeline, I guess 3 seconds. So I'm going to type 300. That'll go to 3 seconds here, and then basically just make it so that drag it so that it's right off the screen, so you can't see it anymore. So it looks like this, right? Just like that. And then with it selected, hit Control D. Then you want to go to the, then with it selected, hit Control D. Then you want to go to the effects and presets. Search up an effect called ramp. It's called gradient ramp, but ramp will do just fine. Slap that on layer number 2, and then you could change the colors. So for us, we're gonna go with a like a greenish, like a blue to a green, yellowish fade, like that, because that looks kind of cool. And that's what we got. So now if you play it, it looks like that. Now the reason you don't see the other white one is because it's basically directly on top of it, and they have the exact same motion. So if I were to offset this, then you'd see the other color. So we're gonna search up another effect called blind, and it's called Venetian blind. It has a 32 next to it. Don't do the FX one. Do the 32 Venetian blinds, and drag that onto shape layer 2. All right, and transition completion, set that to about 50. These are settings that you can just mess around with. Direction 90, and then the width again, mess around with that, but I'm just going to go with 120 for this. For this tutorial. Alright, and now that you have that, it'll look like that. So go to 1 second in your timeline and drag shape layer 2 to 1 second. And then play it. And it'll look like that. Perfect.
shot. Monster kill. Monster kill. for major ponage. Headshot. Headshot. Level. Nicely done. Ultimate range. Close quarters destruction. Headshot. Ultimate rage.
Chavez.